Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Autistic Voice Project. As always, I'm Matt Lowry, based near Kentucky.
And I'm Erin Findley. I'm in California.
And if our calculations are correct, Dr. Emmett Brown style, this episode
Yeah.
will reach you around the Friday before Christmas.
We think it
It,
might be the 19th of December, but we don't really know.
timey-wimey, who knows? We don't know what effects we'll have in the future. We're in the
That's
past,
right.
you're in the future, which is now the present. So this is your Christmas present. We are the ghosts of Christmas pasts, and we are here to help you with this arduous holiday journey. Because
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Erin, but
Mm.
for me, the optimal holiday is Halloween because you scare people, you dress up, you watch cartoons, people give you candy. It's it's the optimal. We added Great Pumpkin, so Great Pumpkin brings presents. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's the Christmas dragon because everything is dragon oriented. But
Yes.
it I have always I like the lights of Christmas. I
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of Christmas. I like the carols, much like Charlie Brown Christmas. Again, Charles Schultz was very autistic. Charlie Brown is by proxy autistic. Linus is autistic. It's a very autistic Christmas special. Honest
Mm-hmm.
to God, the Grinch is probably autistic with his noise aversion and sensory sensitivities. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be around people either. But anyway, long story short, uh, I I have grown to loathe the holidays because of all of the expectations placed upon us. Because there's a
Yeah.
ton of expectations for gift getting. There's a gift giving. There's a ton of expectations for the face that you have to make when somebody gives you something that they have no idea who you are, what you want, what you would like. So you
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh yes, this is a thing that I absolutely treasure, and I see you put effort into," and it. And then you have to go to somebody's house and eat food that is not prepared the quote unquote correct way because we like the food prepared the correct way. We like the brands of the food that we like. We like we like certain foods, we don't like other foods. You have to eat the unfamiliar foods, you have to be around people, you have to pretend to like to be around people. Sometimes you have to go to multiple households, one after another, and not only pretend that you didn't eat already, which you already have, but you have to eat more food and talk with more people and you have to socialize. And oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
it's so damn much.
It
And
is.
also, as a therapist, it is a high rate of depression in the holidays because there's a lot of loneliness. Because
Yeah.
either you have too many people or you don't have enough people, and you don't have that social connection. So there's a gauntlet. But also spending and being broke for the holidays because we live in a
Mm-hmm.
we worship our the patron saint of America is Saint Nicholas, and he is worshipped in a mall. If that doesn't say something about capitalism, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
So anyway, we worship capitalism. It's a thing. So you've got the gauntlet of Thanksgiving where you have to go and socialize with people and be around racist relatives that you can't argue with because then all of a sudden you're the black sheep of the family who ruins Thanksgiving, makes grandma cry.
Right.
Not that I have personal experience with it. I definitely have personal experience with that. So you've got Thanksgiving where you have to eat dry ass turkey. You have Christmas where you have to pretend that these things are good. You have to buy the perfect gift for other people. You have to be around people. You want this feeling that is sold to you that this is going to be the be all end all happy feeling, and then the day after Christmas everything crashes, and then you've got an emotional down, and then you've got New Year's, which is this big uh, renewal of everything and all these new possibilities and all these people kissing on New Year's Eve because they're definitely going to be together and they're not. And then you've got Breakup Alley in between New Year's. It is scientifically shown that
Really?
yes, the highest time for breakups is between New Year's and Valentine's Day. because
Interesting.
that is when these people who held it together for the holidays for the sake of appearances around the family, not to spoil the
Huh.
holiday, decide they can't take it anymore, and then they fall apart.
Right.
And then that's when they split. And then you realize,
Okay.
oh, all of the stuff they've done over the holidays was faking it. Oh my God, that sucks. And then you've got Valentine's Day. And I can't tell you how many times I've spent Valentine's Day not with a loved one, but with clients who were suicidal. And
Yeah.
then we don't have any relief until roughly Cadbury egg season. So, which is all about fertility and a maypole, and we've added rabbits and Jesus in there. So that
Or unleavened bread season, if that's your flavor.
I do love bread. Yeah.
No, but unleavened bread is a particular.
Unleavened. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That unleavened is unloved. Oh my. But if it's your thing, that's okay.
If it's your flavor, awesome.
We'll do a whole episode about it. I don't know. But
We
tonight we're
should
going to
get a Jewish guest for that.
yes, probably so, because I've never had it. I
Mhm.
don't know what it is. And of somebody who is experienced with such things, Mazel tov. So,
Yeah, that's right.
but so
And
so let's.
and let's not also, like, speaking of the litany of holidays, right? Let's
Oh
not
yes.
forget
Oh
things like Diwali and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and like so whatever your cultural, racial, social, ethnic um makeup is, like Boxing Day, like that's a thing too. Um you
I
know,
do love a good box.
I mean, so
Yeah.
does my cat.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. I'm very cat-like. Yes.
yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
But like there's all these obligations, social
Yes.
obligations,
Yes.
family obligations, they all have expectations. Many of those expectations are unspoken, or they only get spoken when we inevitably get them wrong.
Yes. Yes.
um
Yes. Because
and that's
Hanukkah
always
is a good
fun.
holiday about rebellion, and I don't
Yes.
think that that's covered enough. I think that
Yeah, well,
we need more of that. But this is especially for as a PDAer dealing with all these demands. Oh my God, there's so
mhm,
many demands. Why do
mhm.
people make so many demands around this time of year? What is up with this?
I mean, it's tradition.
Oh God. Oh. As a
It's
PDAer,
what we're supposed to do, because
yeah,
that's what we've always done.
as a
Even though
PDAer,
green bean casserole is disgusting, and I will die on that
who
hill.
who invented green bean casserole?
I
Why do they
don't
hate
know.
us?
I think Campbell's
Oh my
Soup did
God.
to sell soup.
That's
I might be
oh
wrong about that, but green
so
bean
so
casserole is from the devil.
so for the holidays, probably forever now because I don't change things.
Hmm.
I have switched my wall, and I am now over by my wall of cookbooks. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see my wall of cookbooks, and I
Hmm.
am fascinated, especially like tasting history and all of
Ooh,
the historical recipes. But there's
fun.
also an era of American 1920s where they're like, you know what we should do? Put spam in Jello. No, you should never put spam in Jello. Why would you ever do that? I really honestly think that a lot of recipes from the day were built on a dare. It was essentially fear factor. So,
Well, they were also built on poverty.
you
They
know,
were
also
also
true.
built on, trying to figure out how to make ends meet, especially post World War II, and Great Depression, all that. Um, Also, families generally tended to be on the bigger side then, and so you might have one person working and more dependence on that person working. um so the financial structure was different. And also there was a lot of like marketing of the newfangled technology, like,
Ah,
ooh, look,
yes.
we can do this
Uh,
horrifying thing now, and people are
I,
like, oh yes, let's incorporate that into our family recipes.
I was waiting for capitalism to say GE brings you green bean casserole instead of beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread is super cheap. It's nice and filling. It's buttery and delicious. Eat some beans and cornbread. Why green bean casserole? Eat some crackers. Eat a potato. Potatoes are
Potatoes are
relatively
lovely.
cheap. I You could make an entire meal out of potatoes and they would all be delightful. I've never met a potato dish I didn't like.
I
I'm
have,
essentially
but it takes
Samwise
work.
Gamgee. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It takes
yeah.
real work.
It takes a lot of work to insult the potato.
That's right. That's right.
So so we come into all these weird ass recipes. All these people who, why is turkey the food of Thanksgiving?
Because
Why
turkey
not
is delicious
when done well? When
when
done
done
well.
well.
When done well. But that's the problem because there's
Yeah.
so many people who only cook turkey once a year and they never get good at it.
Okay, so let
Because
me give you all a pro tip about how to not screw up turkey.
are we going to
Undercook it
talk? Are we going
just
to
a
talk
little bit.
brining? Because a good
Well, I
brine can
mean,
go a long
brining
way.
is good too, but that wasn't where I was going.
Okay.
Undercook it just a little bit. Understand that the turkey will cook on the lag, which means when you take it out of the oven or take it off of the barbecue, which is what my family does, which is the best way to do it, by the way. Barbecue turkey on a Weber, yes.
Don't explode things by trying to fry your turkey improperly.
Yeah, if you don't know how to fry a turkey, find somebody who does and have them teach you,
Yeah.
because fried turkeys are great when they're done right. They're a disaster when they're not.
Yes.
And the ways that that disaster can be disastrous are myriad. But
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
so going back to making your turkey better, don't don't cook it to death. Okay, yes, it's already dead, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like don't cook it on the low end of the range. Understand that it will continue to cook after you've taken it off the heat source. That's
Because
called
hot
cooking on the
things don't
lag.
spontaneously just cool down instantly.
Correct. Correct. And number 3 is give it some time to rest, which means give it a 10 or 15-minute period at minimum to sit still with some foil over it. What that will do is that will allow the juices to come back into the turkey meat. And when you cut it, will be moist instead of having it be dry as a bone.
It's dry turkey.
It's
Okay,
terrible.
so for years, I was under the impression that all food was bad, with the exception, of course, chicken nuggets, because a lot of people in my family, who shall remain nameless, decided that the only way to cook things was to charbroil them, because steak
Oh
absolutely had
dear.
to be well done. I
Oh,
thought I hated steak. Turkey
no.
had to be cooked to the point where it was dry and damn near crispy. I hated
No.
turkey. I hated
Oh.
so many foods. My food
I'm
palette was
so
so
sorry for your
limited.
taste
It
buds.
it was, I lost out on and then I started watching Alton Brown, and
Ah.
yes, I have good eats. But
Mhm.
yeah, this. So I learned how to properly cook things so that they
Yes.
have
Food
what we
science.
call flavor,
Mhm.
flavor, and even one. Okay, so I grew up where the one food that my mom could cook was fried chicken. She did a really good job with that.
Oh,
So
nice.
she lives with my brother who is in his 40s, and
So he gets all the fried chicken
he does. And one
these
year,
days.
while Emmett was here, my mom said, "Hey, I'll come down and visit you because my brother is off." And I was like, "Okay." And she's like, "Instead of fried chicken, I'll come to your house and cook steak." And I was like, "Why are you trying to punish me?"
No.
It's because number one,
What?
I like fried chicken. Number
Mhm.
two, when she cooks steak, it has to be well done. She doesn't know what good steak tastes like. So I was like, "No, you ruin a steak. That's two strikes. We're not doing that." And it caused a whole family thing. And
Mhm.
I do love a good steak. I love my steak rare to medium rare because it has
Well, yeah,
flavor.
because that's the proper way to eat it.
Yes, I love it when it has flavor. And again, with
Yes.
turkey, I like a good rub on turkey. If I have time, a good brine. That would be nice. It increases
Mhm.
the flavor. The salinity
Mhm.
of the brine brings out the flavor, makes it nice and tender and juicy. And I will eat on turkey for a long time when it's done well. But again,
Yes.
we've got this culture where people only buy turkey once a year, throw it in the oven, don't know what to do. I just bought a Bluetooth thermometer.
Oh,
Uh,
fun.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Gadget.
I know. I can sit. I can put the turkey in the oven and sit here
Hmm.
and monitor the progress on my phone,
Heck
because
yeah.
it's before that I had a I still do have a thermometer that has a cord, but the cord has to come
Hmm.
out of the oven, and you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's neat to be able to watch the turkey on my phone. Oh, behind me, I've got the Belcher family out for Thanksgiving,
Nice,
because
nice.
Autistic, and here's Snoopy and Charlie Brown too,
Yes.
behind Wally, or in front of Wally. But my Autistic Thanksgiving decorations, the Belchers.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, but that's the thing. It's when you go to somebody's house, you never know what to expect. Are they an excellent chef? Is this the
Hmm.
only time during the year that they're making food?
Hmm.
What are we going? It sends the expectation sensitivity into overdrive. I
Yeah.
can't deal with that. My
Hmm.
mom's family ended up just having the traditional chicken McNugget platter, where somebody would stop off at McDonald's, get a whole bunch of chicken McNuggets, and that's going to be the thing that I'm going to do with my son for Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
because I'm going to make a turkey and potatoes and rolls for me. I've made a special recipe for stuffing because I don't like the chunks in stuffing, because
Hmm.
it's an unfamiliar texture and I don't like to be unpleasantly surprised. So I
Hmm.
puree the hell out of everything. So it's essentially like
Okay.
savory turkey bread. It's delicious. I love it.
That
But
sounds
but
lovely.
I'm getting my son a whole bunch of chicken nuggets and a whole bunch of fries, and we will have Thanksgiving dinner. And I had a conversation with my son, and he says, "No turkey. Emmett does not like turkey." And I was like, "Well, would you want the chicken McNuggets from McDonald's?" Yes. Do you want a lot of chicken McNuggets from McDonald's? Yes.
Yes.
And I was like, "Well, and but at 6 o'clock you'll have to go back to Nana Pop's house and have turkey." He says, "No turkey." And
Hmm.
so yeah. Anyway, we make accommodations because that's what we do in Autistica.
Well,
We
and the beautiful thing is you can have turkey available and
Yes,
invite him to participate, and
yes,
and you can invite him again on Thanksgiving Day to say, "Would you like to try this? Maybe just one bite, you know?"
yeah,
And if he says no, there's alternatives. You've already planned for that because you know kind of where his needs are right now.
yeah, yeah.
Um and it is so much more gracious and relaxing of an experience as the kid to be able to make choices about what's on your plate. Like
Yes,
I don't know how it was for you. I know for me growing up, it was there was an unspoken expectation that you would try a little bit of everything.
yeah, yeah,
Right now, my parents were really good about like it can just be one bite, right? So if you see something that looks vile, you can take the smallest bite you can find and then not have any more, and you did your job,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that was how my parents handled it, which wasn't the worst. Um, but I also tend like I'm more sensitive to specific flavors and textures rather than more general flavors and textures. Like so, I have some food aversions in some very narrow categories that are kind of intense, but I can tolerate a lot and enjoy pretty big range, and that's
Yeah,
just me,
yeah, yeah.
right? And
Eh,
not everybody is the same.
if somebody's a gustatory stimmer, they might be very
They
adventurous.
might love it. They
Yeah,
might love it.
my son, I joke with my son a lot
Mm-hmm.
about sorry, about
That's a
instances in the past with like Reese's Pieces. Because a long time ago, when he was a little guy, I said, "Would you like some Reese's Pieces?" No, no Reese's Pieces. And I was like, "Okay." And I started eating Reese's Pieces. And then he reached over, tried a Reese's Pieces, and then ate all my Reese's Pieces. And then one
mm-hmm.
time, he didn't want McDonald's fries, so I was eating McDonald's fries. And then he tried a fry, and then he ate all my fries. And I was like, "And there was
Right.
one time when I ate McNuggets, and you didn't want McNuggets, and you ate all my." And then he finds it hilarious to say, "I ate all of Daddy's McNuggets." And I'm like, "Yeah, you did." And like with Taco Bell, at first he didn't want Taco Bell at all. And then he liked the cinnamon twists. And then he found that they have nacho chips there, and he loves chips. And I was like, "Well, it would be good for you to have more food than just chips and cinnamon twists. What about a taco?" No taco. And then he found you could have a taco with just meat in a shell. So he
Mm-hmm.
wanted that. And then he
Hmm.
saw me eating soft tacos that don't break. And he wanted my soft tacos, so I gave it to him. And now he loves soft tacos. And
Right.
we always joke about how whenever Daddy's eating something, Emmett will eat all of Daddy's food, and he thinks that's the most hilarious thing ever. So every once in a while, he will take something of mine, and now it's his. It is absolutely his thing, and he loves it until the end of time.
Well, and that's fabulous because he's driving the bus on that.
Yeah.
He's not getting commanded to eat, you know, great Aunt Nancy's green bean casserole. He's looking at it going, "Hey, those french fries actually look kind of interesting. I think
Yeah.
I want to try one. I
L-
think I'm going to have more than one. Daddy's going to let me get away with that. I think I'm going to have more. And now I'm going to have them all."
Exactly. And it becomes, again, we are very intrinsically driven people. Where if we have this intrinsic motivation, we can do a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Last year we went to Disney, and one of the most hyped restaurants that has, like, it's a buffet called Boma, and it is supposed to be one of the best restaurants out there, like Michelin star and all this other stuff. It's a
Oh, wow.
buffet, and I went there with my ex and her son, and I Emmett didn't know what he was going to eat, and I said, grab a plate and just grab literally anything that looks good to you. And he grabbed a whole bunch of pita, he grabbed some naan bread, and then a pile of cookies. And I was like, and he looked at me like, "Is this okay?" And I was like, "Looks good to me, son." He had the biggest smile on his face, and
Yeah.
he just sat there with naan and pita and cookies in both hands, shoving his face full and just eating more than I have ever seen him eat in my
No.
life. He had the best time. And then afterwards, he's now a fan of pita. And I think that when he realized that soft tacos are essentially pita with meat, he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, okay, hook me up for
Yeah.
that." Yeah.
Easy.
So, and this is the thing, when done well, it's a good time of feasting. But when you have all this weird judgment and food peddling and all the
Mhm.
unexpected stuff, oh my God, it's hell.
And hurt feelings because why didn't you try my green bean casserole?
Seriously,
And
I
for
worked
those of
so
you, dear
hard.
listeners, for those of you who do love green bean casserole, I'm going to assume it's because you have an extra special version of the recipe that somehow makes it wonderful. I will believe you. Please don't send me the recipe. I won't try it. But
If yeah,
I will believe that you have a recipe that's amazing for you. And I love that for you. So
it, the
just,
if your
I'm
casserole
sorry if I'm picking on your favorite dish.
yeah, it involves green beans, casserole, and LSD.
That would be quite a different dish than
Yeah,
anything I ever had at the holidays.
yeah. And that's the kind of shit that you need to help you get through the relatives, because why
Depending
is
on your
it?
relatives.
Yeah, well, so my biggest problem is that I have always had either someone in, like, when I would go to my granny's house,
Hmm.
inevitably there would be somebody who was related to a horrible person, like my mother. But it's my mother was married to a horrible person, to
Got
clarify.
it.
But yeah, but
Thank you for clarifying.
yeah. But in when I would go to my ex's houses, it would be like, yes, my ex would be like, a decent human being.
Hmm.
Their sibling would be a decent human being. Inevitably, the sibling's significant other, complete asshole.
Hmm.
One Thanksgiving, I got into a very vocal argument with a man who claimed that Native Americans all smelled bad. And I was like, "Why would
Uh,
you say that out loud?" And
yeah.
I was the problem because he had been in the family longer. On a
Okay.
completely different family, again, the significant other's sister married a guy who was a notorious racist, had to confront him about it. I was the bad guy. And
Hmm.
I learned quickly that the family bends to the most toxic person out of the need to, quote unquote, keep the peace. And it
Hmm.
gets even worse when the most toxic person decides to bring copious amounts of alcohol because they can't get through a family gathering without being intoxicated. So
Right.
it's I learned that you've heard of, or at least seen or heard of War Games, right? The
Hmm.
the 80s Matthew Broderick movie.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
forever, but I did actually
yeah.
watch that one.
Yeah, the moral essentially this AI decides to start nuclear Armageddon, and the moral of the story is the only way to win is to not play, because there was one year where my one ex wanted me to get into a fist fight with her brother because of a record player. I don't understand. The
That
parents
makes no
the
sense.
the parents wanted to get rid of a record player. He was going to help them get rid of the record player. She didn't want them to get rid of a record player. She wanted me to make him stop getting rid of the record player. And then he challenged me to a fist fight because I thought I was quote unquote such a big man. And I was like, I'm just here for food. What's wrong with you people? So
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
learned
weird.
that being around people, unless you can freely say, you know what's terrible? Racists. If you can't freely say that Nazis are bad, don't go. Because oh
Hmm.
my god, it offends me that it's somehow socially worse to say Nazis bad than to be a Nazi, because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Popper's
What?
paradox. Popper's paradox of tolerance, in that
Yeah.
I was the intolerant one for not tolerating intolerance. And
Except actually, the paradox of tolerance, by the way, is a social contract. And so a lot of people who claim that you're violating the paradox of tolerance by being intolerant of intolerant people are failing to understand the nature of the 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 paradox of tolerance. So,
and
fun
that's the
fact.
big thing about, but again, the people that I was visiting did not have the capacity to understand that argument.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Well, I
That
mean,
and that's
even
yeah.
perhaps not even if they were sober.
Yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing about this, because that's when it's like, yes, making a nice meal at home that I can control. Because again,
mhm,
this is where the PDA kicks in. Because if I
mhm,
have control over the, I will make food for other people because it is
mhm,
food that I can eat. I would love to share food with other people.
mhm.
For years, I cooked Christmas dinner, but again, I was the bad guy for not allowing the racist into the house. Uh, my
That just
my
seems logical.
my son's mother, her brother-in-law, is an anti-vaxxer. We just did an episode about that,
Yes, we did.
and he was also an avid Trump supporter, and this was in 2017.
Mhm.
I did not let him come to Christmas dinner at my house because I didn't want him around my newborn baby who is just out of the NICU, because he was an anti-vaxxer. And I thought that made sense, but
It's
apparently
entirely logical.
I was apparently an asshole, which led to the divorce, because I didn't allow her family into my house. And I said, well, technically, he's your sister's family. I let your family in because I cooked for your mother and your I cooked for your mother and your father and your sister and you
Mhm,
and our child, but not your brother-in-law who is an anti-vaxxer and a racist. But no,
mhm,
so here
mhm.
we are. So
Yeah.
I have become a recluse around the holidays, and how do we navigate that? What advice would you give to somebody who is dealing with this sort of bullshit?
Well, my first piece of advice is kind of the cost benefit analysis of whether you actually want to go to the family gathering or
I
if
don't.
you might want to do something different. One of my good friends reached out to me a little while ago to say, "Hey, we're not going to our families for Christmas. So if you all are free and you want to travel, we'd love to have you." It was like,
There you go.
that's lovely. And in a different circumstance, that I probably would take her up on that. This year it didn't work out, but the offer was amazing, and I totally understand why they don't want to be around either of their families, right?
Yeah.
So, either family of the person in the couple. So, like, that's one option. Like, do you even go? Right? For some people, that's more of an option than others. Um, if you do have to go, perhaps you might think about what's the minimum length of time that I have to be there, right? Like, is it mandatory that you stay for dinner and dessert, right? Or can you go for dinner and then leave, or lunch if your family does lunch? Is there something that you can do while you're there to distract you from whatever other chaos is going on? So, like,
Is
in
there an animal that you can associate with?
is there an animal that you can just happily volunteer to take a walk, take on a walk, or is that, like, doing the dishes is one of the things that I do when
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
especially at my former in-laws.
Yeah.
I'm being careful here because I want to be respectful of my husband's current family, and but my ex-husband's family, um, the the fact that I wasn't super comfortable and I never felt like I fit in. I mean, I felt like they were
Yeah.
nice to me, but I just didn't feel like I fit.
Yeah.
Um, it was like, "Oh, well, here, let me help with the dishes." That wasn't about me being a good little woman. That was about me getting out of social interaction.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I can tolerate the discomfort of the dish, hand washing dishes enough to tolerate that. If you're that person, great. If you're not, also, that's fine. Maybe, like, some families will have a football game on, or a cooking show, or some TV channel playing all day. Like, so you can go and sit down and watch the whatever TV is playing at the moment. Or some families, and this is the if you are a listener, a beloved listener who has a beloved person who is autistic, I want to invite you to try this out this year.
Yes.
Create a space for people to take a brief retreat.
Ooh, a sensory room. Oh, that would be
A
nice.
sensory room, or even just a space where it's okay for people to be there in their own space, like in their own head. Maybe they're listening to music, maybe they're playing on their phone, whatever it is, for people to take a break. Okay. This happened for the first time a couple of years ago at my aunt's house. Many of us in my family are neurodivergent, as it turns out. And
Vaccines and
I know,
Tylenol all around then, huh?
right, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, total shock there.
Yeah.
Um, and and at one point, one of my nephews and I were in the living room, and everybody else was, like, in the family room and the dining room and the den and whatnot. And my nephew and I were just kind of in the living room, hanging and not talking.
Yeah.
And it was great. He was listening, they're playing some game or listening to something on his headphones. I was probably playing my stupid iPhone game. Um, but it was just an opportunity to take a break and rejuvenate. So if you are somebody who loves an autistic person, I want to encourage you to designate a space for people to take a break,
That
right?
is a necessity for safe interaction,
Yeah.
because all of this stuff is incredibly overstimulating. All of these changes in plans. We love our routines, and when our routines are disrupted, we become disrupted.
Yes.
Changes to the foods, uh, socializing requirements. How nice would it be to have a nice, safe place to go and just listen to our comfort music, or play Tetris, or do something
Mhm.
away from all of the stuff?
Right. To just not have to be on stage.
Yes, yes, because that's the masking. Because even among people that are supposed to be family, there are, like, as I have discovered, certain topics you must avoid lest they run you out of the family. Because you know,
Mhm.
I often wonder if you know certain events that happened between then and now have changed their opinion on such things. But one t- this guy and I once got into an argument because he said, "You know what's great? Bear Grylls in Man versus Wild or whatever, right? You know, survival show." And I was like, "You
Hmm.
know who's even better? Bear Grylls' cameraman, because he has to walk backwards." And he said, "Bear
Oh,
Grylls
jeez.
doesn't have a cameraman." And I was like, "Who do you think shoots the film?" "Bear Grylls shoots the film." And I was like, "You could see his hands. Does he sit down the camera and then walk off and then come back and get the camera? Who takes the shots of him climbing a mountain? Why do you think that there's not a sound crew and all these other people there?" "Well, he could do it himself. He drinks his own piss." I was like, "Why does that qualify somebody to be a cameraman?" So
I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. So again, I was I was ushered out of that particular family because I I was the problem child. So
Yeah.
yes, it's these these are the things. These are the things. But on the opposite end of that, what do you
Hmm.
do if you don't have people? Because I'm guessing that we're statistically likely to have some listeners who
Yeah.
we are their parasocial friend. Hi, Bob from Tulsa, and
Hmm.
they might be lonely because
Yeah.
again, this is a time of year when there's a lot of depression and a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear about the new year. This is I mean, honestly, the whole reason we have the holidays at this point of the year is, at least in the northern hemisphere, is because it is the coldest and darkest time of the year.
Right.
Christmas happens around the winter solstice, the absolute longest night of the year, the coldest, darkest, loneliest nights.
Yeah.
And that can really take a toll. For you people in Australia, thumbs up and go swimming with Bluey on Christmas Day. I'll envy all of you.
I
But
know, right?
yeah, those of us in the stuck in the northern hemisphere in the cold in the dark. Uh,
Well, I mean, they get the cold for midsummer, so or mid June, I guess. So
well, yeah, which sucks even more because what is there to do in June? I mean, there's no good holidays in June.
I
What, Father's
mean,
Day?
I don't know.
I, if you're in
Juneteenth, but that's a
Australia,
USA thing.
yeah, if you're in Australia, write in. What in hell do you do in June on the cold, dark nights? Because
Yeah.
whoa, that's suddenly very depressing. But if somebody gets very depressed during the holidays, what resources do we have? How do we handle that?
So there's a few things we can do. One is if you are part of an online community, that can be a great way to connect with people, even if you're not in the same space. Maybe some gaming friends to do some interactive games with, or something like that. Um, D&D can be great on Christmas Day. And if you have
Having
a
a D and
nice
D campaign would be awesome.
yeah, like a Christmas themed D&D
Yeah,
campaign for people who otherwise wouldn't have Christmas plans, that sounds amazing.
yeah,
That sounds
seriously.
amazing.
Yeah, the hunt for Krampus. I mean, yeah.
Or something. Um, so connecting through whatever online resources, if you're physically alone, um, and you have a pet, you know, being around another live critter can be important and helpful.
You
If
can get them
you're,
presents.
what's that?
You can get them presents. I
Yeah,
used
you
to
can
get
get
my
them
dog.
presents.
My dog was Indiana Bones, and
Ah, nice,
I would get him roast beefs from Arby's and rip them into
nice.
chunks and hide them around the house so he could have a roast beef hunt. He was
Oh, that sounds
so
amazing.
he was not he was a beagle and in theory very good at hunting, not very good at hunting. But
Not good at
we
hunting.
would go on a roast beef hunt and he would hunt down his roast beefs and yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a nice way to celebrate.
Yeah, so you can do fun things like that. You can kind of create a list of music or audiobooks or movies that bring you comfort, that bring you a sense of connection. I would probably listen to my comfort audiobook, or maybe the Patrick Stewart version of A Christmas Carol, because that man could read me the phone book, and that would be fine. Um,
I prefer the Muppets version because Gonzo the same reason.
but again, like, Christmas is 24 hours long. You could do both,
Yes, there's all
right? So
there's the Christmas episodes of Community, one of
right,
which is Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, and another of which was a mix up between Glee and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it was awesome.
which, like, if that's your jam, go for it, right?
Yeah, it was
So, but
fantastic.
so planning ahead for some kind of food that you will enjoy, some kind of um, entertainment that you can enjoy. It might be also a good time to lean into some sensory things that bring you comfort or warmth. For me, that would be like the cozy, soft blankets, and I might splurge and buy myself a new sweatshirt if I could, because has the nice, fresh, fleecy experience on the inside of a nice, new sweatshirt. I might buy myself a sweatshirt for a present.
There's
But
Batmobiles at every price point if you're interested. So,
right. Um, you might consider if there's a craft that you would want to do, or a couple of crafts that you want to do. If you want to try your hand at baking, I'm going to post a scone recipe that I've been perfecting over the last couple of weeks. So if you want to go ahead and make that, that's an option. And if it's not to your liking flavor wise, you're also welcome to not bother. But
green
that
bean
might bring us
casserole it is.
right. Like that might be a way of feeling a sense of connection, even without having another person around. Like, even just taking some time to think about you know someone feeling loving feelings towards you, or feeling loving feelings towards other people, or other person, or other animals, like, to help connect in with that can be a way to help lift the spirits. What? Why are you making a face?
Well, I, I, my brain just went to certain websites with people loving each other. And then as soon as you said people loving animals, I was like, oh, those are different sites.
Yeah, those are
Oh
different
my.
sites.
Oh my.
That was not the kind of loving that I was
somebody
talking
just
about.
decked the halls. Oh
I mean,
dear.
but yeah, go ahead. You can deck the halls if you want. That's cool.
Yeah.
But also remember,
make sure your halls are consenting,
yes, but also remember that Christmas tree shaped things,
Yeah. Make sure there's a
you need
flare
to
on
be
the bottom.
careful with those.
Yeah.
You just be careful with anything that's Christmas tree shaped, because they can be potentially problematic, and there are better options than decorations
And
if
the
you
people
want
at
to
the
use Christmas tree shaped things for
and the people at the ER
non.
will not believe that you just slipped and fell on it. No, that
Yeah,
they've heard that one
no,
before.
they have. Yeah, yeah.
Actually,
I want.
we've done
I,
well. This is actually a very good way to spend the holidays. Go for it. Why not?
I mean, if you enjoy it and it brings you pleasure,
yeah, go for it.
I'm not gonna be someone to throw stones. Just, whatever you do, be safe and comfortable, and
I say
use
this
the
without
appropriate.
irony. You do you.
Right. But also be safe, right? And do what you need to do to take care of yourself, so that you don't have to have a trip to an emergency room.
When we
Prepare
talked about
your equipment in advance.
when we talked about the idea of doing an episode about self-care for the holidays, I didn't expect it to end up here, but here we are. All right.
Well, I mean, I would be lying. I mean, we've had Cade Sharp or
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Cade Sharp on a couple times. We
Kate will be
know
sad
that,
that he
like,
missed out on this.
yeah, he is going to be sad about this. Like, look,
Read the comments.
sex
He
is
might already be
comforting.
there.
Sex is comforting for a lot of people, whether it's a solo
Yeah.
show or whether it's with participants, of whatever number you feel good with. Fine, right?
Yeah.
Just
Have the Christmas ghost join you and make it a party.
right. Just make sure that you're using appropriate equipment, not because we're judging you, but because we don't want you to go to the ER.
Yeah, yeah. Put a stocking on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so hopefully if through listening to this episode you can either commiserate with us and say yes, yes, I know the frustrations of the food and the family and the fun. And
That's right.
yeah, and if you are alone, hopefully we've been able to lighten your spirits a little bit. We're here to cheer you on and hope that you have a very merry holiday indeed. And
Indeed.
come join us next week when we do our New Year's episode, and we will start off the new year hopefully right. So you take care and have a good one.
All right.